In mid-1983, I was offered to substitute for an interpreter for the Prime Minister who got sick, the interpreter, not the Prime Minister. I had never felt more unprepared, but I said yes, because literally the day before, I had decided to start changing my life, living in a different way, and doing things I was afraid of to get free from the demons of my emotionally abusive childhood. I decided to live a different life, and it opened the way for me to end up in the White House working for US President. There are three things that you need to put behind you as the year ends if you really want to change things to better in your life. And I'm going to tell you about these three things here in this video. As far as I'm concerned, I had waited for a long time for life to get better. I kind of thought and assumed it would get better on its own. And the change that I just told you about came from desperation when things were not changing as much or as quickly as I had hoped for. And I was no exception here. A lot of people don't start getting their life in shape until they really are fed up with how things were before. And it's only really when we have it up to our ears that we find it within ourselves the energy to make a change. And I was no different. When I stopped waiting for life to make itself better for me, for life to get better, that's when I started building my present life, which I love and which make my erstwhile dreams pale. A lot of times we just wait forever for things to get better, kind of on their own, or for a more appropriate time. We have many good reasons that are really well-founded, while we're not ready for the change yet, and it's not the right time yet. And we're waiting to start our own life until circumstances allow. Where in fact, every day is priceless because you can't get it back in any way. And waiting for life to just start getting better might never end. So now is the time that you can change it. So what are the three things that you should leave behind as this old year ends and not carry them into the new year? Number one, it's the belief that life will get better by itself. Life does not get better by itself on its own, definitely not to better. And this is the fundamental principle of entropia, which is basically how energy disperses itself in the universe. Mess is created by itself, and order requires effort. If you throw up in the air a stack of A4 or portrait sheets of paper, they will definitely land in many different places and will immediately create chaos because this is how the world works. In nature and in our life, it's no different. Everything seeks to disperse into chaos unless we put the effort to bring it back to order. So if something is really not right in your life, don't believe it's going to get fixed by itself or like things are going to just miraculously, magically start getting better. That's a belief that you should say goodbye to as the year ends. And now is the time that's easier than in other times to decide your life is going to be different from now on. Because at the end of the day, order in your life is really something that only you are interested in. The second thing to say goodbye to as we move into the new year is to stop waiting until you feel ready for change, ready to make a bold move, ready for anything that you want in your life, but you're not feeling ready yet. Ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. You're ready when you move to action, not when you're feeling ready. You may not feel ready and still open a door and go over a threshold and be there. And your feeling ready or not ready really is irrelevant at the end of the day, or not very important. However, that sense that you're not ready is an important tip, and it's worth paying attention to, because every time you're feeling I'm not ready for something, you should answer yourself, what is it I'm afraid of? When I say I'm not ready, what is it I'm afraid of? That could be the most important tip and question of your life at this moment, because I'm not ready is an anesthetic, just like the word must. But I did a video about it a while ago. The word must, just like I'm not ready, anesthetizes us, justifies, gives us an excuse not to act. I'm not ready gives you a seemingly good reason to not act. That's why as you walk into the new year, in a moment, or maybe you have just started the new year as you're watching this video, it can be new year, it can be a new week, it can be a new day. Any new period helps get a better energy to move forward. Just forget all the philosophizing about whether or not you're feeling ready. Ready is a decision. By the way, how many times this past year you've told yourself, I'm not ready? What would have been different today in your life if you had not said that, or at least if you had not acted upon it? When I met my wife 26 years ago, when she was not my wife, she got me fascinated about her immediately. And I discovered in her presence myself that I had not even imagined might be there. Somebody I really came to like. And that's the purpose of personal development. It's not to change, it's to discover who you are, because once you discover who you are, everything changes to better in your life. And the third thing, and that's why, the third thing that you should leave behind as you start the new year is the belief that you know who you are and you know what you're capable of. You know who you were until the end of last year, but not who you can become. So you should treat the new year as new space in which you can come to know the new you, the you that's always been there, but you've never seen that you because you've never had the need or opportunity to let that person come to surface. And that should be your intention for this year. You'll be surprised how much you did not know about yourself. The old I will obviously knock from below and will try many times to come back. Be ready for that, but make room for the new you in the new year. And then the new year will be a new year and not just a repeat of the old year and the never-ending waiting until you're feeling ready. So as you get into the new year, say goodbye to the belief that life will fix itself by itself, that you will ever feel fully ready, and the belief that you know what you're capable of. You don't, and you'll see it this year. Thanks for the like and for subscribing to my channel. If you want to know more of my content and what I do, you'll find links to my programs in the description below. See you next week.